excited. This is one of my favorite things I do on radio is get to be part of all kinds of nonprofits. And I have a lady in here that I love because she has started something that is taken off like fire. I mean, really. And what you've done for nonprofits is just remarkable.
Thank you,
and so introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about who you are, and then we're going to go to one of our winners.
Thank you, Shelley. My name is Teresa Smith, and I am the president and founder of Volusia County Women Who Care. We are a membership organization, and we are inclusive. Everybody, man, woman, anyone is allowed to join, and we welcome you with open arms. We are an organization that meets quarterly, and each quarter, our members have the opportunity to nominate local nonprofits serving Volusia County that they care about, that they're passionate about, that maybe have touched their lives. And they have that opportunity. We vet them to make sure that they are properly registered with the state of Florida, that they're properly registered with the federal government, and so on, to make sure that they're doing what they say they're doing. They are entered into a drawing at that quarterly meeting. 3 are drawn randomly, by the way, ladies. This is random, are drawn randomly. And those 3 have the privilege and opportunity to stand in front of a group of women that are predisposed to care, that are community leaders, that are engaged in the community, that want to make a difference. They have 10 minutes to tell their story, and we time them.
And it's a long time, really, when you think about it. It's not 10 minutes sounds short, but they get a lot of information out in that 10 minutes.
They really do get a lot, and then they have an opportunity to answer questions from the members. And at the end of those 3 presentations, the members, as a member, has the opportunity to vote on one of those 3. Now, that, I always say, Shelley, is the hardest part, because they're always worthy organizations. They're always great organizations. They're always doing amazing work in our community, and they're part of our community. We love them all, but only one becomes the recipient for that quarter. And so what happens is, at that point, the privilege of membership is you get to contribute $100 to that charity, the one that everybody voted on. Whether you voted on it or not, you give that $100. Volusia County Women Who Care and our volunteers go about collecting those funds over the quarter, and then we present them in a check presentation. Last quarter, we had the privilege of presenting over $37,000 to Volusia Free Clinic. So it's not an inconsequential amount of money. It's significant. But, and here's the caveat.
I love the new thing.
Yeah. Last year, we kept hearing from our members, well, we feel so bad about the other 2 organizations. And, they get, the cool thing is they get to give their story in front of the women. Magical things happen. Introductions are made. Synergies happen. But the other thing is they still not receiving funds. So we were able to launch the Community Partner Impact Fund. And we invite members and community leaders and community partners to contribute to that fund. And from that fund, we provide a smaller grant of $1,200 each quarter to the other 2 recipients, and then we encourage them to apply again, to be nominated, because they can do it as many times until they're selected. So they can continue to do that. So here today, we have one of those amazing organizations, and this is an organization that is near and dear to my heart, because we all know that early learning is really important to the health of our youth and to the future of our communities. So if you're a business leader, if you're a community leader, it's really important that we invest in the youth, and getting them started early, getting them a solid foundation is so critical to their long-term success. So without further ado, I will turn it over to Shelley, and you can introduce our guest.
I am so excited to have you here again, because my story is a little different. My parents didn't push books or anything, or early learning. We were busy playing outside. And so when I had granddaughters, I had the opportunity to get books through your organization, actually. And so tell us who you are and about early learning, because it's very crucial to get your kids started.
Absolutely. So good morning, and thank you for having me again. I'm so excited to be here. My name is Allison Miller, and I'm the Chief Program Officer for the Early Learning Coalition of Flagler and Volusia. We do serve the two-county region, and you were learning when you were playing outside, just so you know. So
Well,
don't
yes.
feel like you were slighted in any way, because children learn best through play, especially at an early
And you're
age.
right. I just mean didn't have books at my,
You didn't have books at your fingertips, right? You didn't have that as much of opportunity.
Right.
So, absolutely. And this is such a critical time because 90% of a child's brain develops before they go to kindergarten, okay? And it is the only organ in your body that is not fully developed at birth. So the synapses are just firing off like crazy, and all of these connections are being formed, and their brains are growing as they're learning and playing and reading. And so that is why this is such a crucial time in a child's life.
And how does your organization help with that? I mean, sounds real good, just a book, but you have all kinds of programs. It's not just the books that I love.
Absolutely. That's just one piece of the puzzle, or one little tool in our tool belt to try to get those kiddos ready for kindergarten, because that's the ultimate goal. We want them ready for kindergarten, and we want them to have that great jump start so that when they get there, they can just take off and soar. And so the programs that we have are our main program is school readiness, and that is where we provide tuition assistance for childcare for families that are maybe struggling. They're working or going to school, but they still need some extra support. We can help pay for their childcare services. And with that, there's a lot of wraparound services that go with that. We have a developmental health team that can help with any kind of behavior concerns, any kind of developmental concerns. We can do developmental screenings. We can do hearing and vision screenings. We can do, we actually do speech screeners if they're within one of our attending one of our child care programs that we contract with. And then we also facilitate VPK, which is the state's free voluntary pre-kindergarten program.
Most amazing thing ever.
Yes, and that there is no income eligibility to that. You have to be 4 on or before September 1st in the year that you're going to attend, and then you have to select one of the child care programs in the community that is contracted with us to provide that service, and that provides 540 hours for children to attend in the school year.
How long has that been around? Because I know it wasn't around when I was young. So
20 years this year.
Okay,
Yep.
man, a long time.
Yes, it was put into legislation by the state 20 years ago. So,
But I think maybe it's just me. It became more popular the last few years. Is that the push you guys are doing?
We've been pushing it the last few years because we've actually seen a little bit of a decline in participation, and I believe that could partially have to do with a lot of people moving into Florida and not realizing. There's a lot of states that have pre-K programs, but they all have different eligibility criterias. So some of them may be universal like ours. Most of them are not, though, so families may not realize that their child could attend for free. They may not even realize we have it. And so we have been doing a heavy push the last couple years to try to help the community become aware that this program is out there for their kiddos. Just to clarify, the school readiness and the VPK, we don't actually provide the child care directly. We contract with over 200 programs in Volusia and Flagler to provide that to the families.
There's plenty of them out there.
There is a lot, and they look all different ways. There might be home programs, there could be center-based, there's faith-based, there are school districts, and so we have a myriad of options for families, and we can help point them in the direction of what they're looking for. So even if they don't need the assistance financially, if they just want to find the right place for their child, we can help them with that as well. We can pull listings for them and kind of give them a list of places to maybe start looking at. What should they look for when they go, that type of thing. So we can help support that as well.
Awesome. And then what other programs are available? Because you have so much stuff going on.
We do. I talked about developmental health, VPK, resource and referral, school readiness. We have a lot of programs where we work with the early educators, those teachers that are in those child care programs, and we help them to upskill themselves. We help with training. We help with professional development. We do mentoring and technical assistance. We bring our behavior supports in, and we bring also in any kind of help if maybe the child is not developmentally on track. We don't do any diagnosing, but we can help with assessment. We can help the teacher support that child. We can help the family support that child. And then we can refer out if further evaluations are needed. We have great partners in our community that we can refer to for those services. We have a lot of community engagement that we do. We have a learning mobile, which is an RV.
I didn't know about that. Oh, tell us more.
So it's an RV that's basically been turned into a mobile
It's like an
classroom.
adventure.
Yes. And
On wheels.
Yes. We bring it to community events. We bring it to parks in the community. Yeah, we do. You'll see it driving around. It's all wrapped with our logo and branding and pictures of kids on it. But the inside, we've kind of pulled out all the regular RV stuff, and we've turned it into a mobile classroom with all fun learning opportunities. We do that at community events, but we also, during the week, during those normal work hours, we try to find kids and families that maybe aren't in a traditional early learning environment. Maybe they're at home with their parents. Maybe they're being homeschooled. And so that we can bring those opportunities also to those kids in the community, because we want them all to have great opportunities.
Because it's changed a lot since COVID about how people go to school and how they learn, I think.
Absolutely.
And so I love that there's organizations and things that are happening. I already know a place I want you to go. I'm involved with Junior League, and they do a touch-a-truck. Wouldn't that be cool?
Oh, we have. We've participated in truck.
Touch-a-truck. Okay, because that would be the neatest thing to bring there. I mean, adventure on wheels. So I love that. And I also want to circle back how you talked about with hearing and eyes and stuff helping with that. A lot of parents, because they're our child, we don't realize that maybe they're not hearing right or learning where they need to be learning or even seeing right. So I love that you educate on that also and help assist getting that done.
Yeah, absolutely. We can provide free hearing and vision screenings, which we do that sometimes also on the Learning Mobile when it's out in the community. But we also have a program called Help Me Grow, which is provides free developmental resources and developmental screenings in the community.
I love that.
So any kids from it's like 6.5 weeks until 8 years old, we can do developmental screenings.
That's amazing.
With the parents really complete the tool, because it's a parent-driven tool, like a questionnaire is basically what it is. And then based on those results, we can help give like maybe there's activities they need to do to help them get on track,
Totally.
that type of thing. Or if they need further evaluation, then we can refer them out in the community.
See, there is an amazing opportunity because, you start off school and, of course, we think our child's perfect. And I'm not saying they're not perfect just because they need glasses or because they need a hearing aid, but we don't catch it maybe.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's wonderful. You even have it on the mobile service and stuff and it's not embarrassing to ask to be tested, is it?
No, absolutely not.
I think that's kind of a thing that as a parent, we feel like we failed some way if we feel like our kid's not at Susie's level or George's level, We start questioning ourselves, but it could be easy as needing their eyesight checked. And they maybe need glasses so that they can see better to be able to read or whatever it is.
Absolutely. Yeah, we actually had a parent once that came up to me at an event, and he said, I just want to thank you because the last time we saw you at an event, my son had his eyes checked, and we had no idea that he had a problem with his vision until we did that. And so he was able to go to the eye doctor and get glasses, and it just made a world of difference for him. And like you said, they just didn't know, because when their children are so young at that age, they don't know that they're struggling to see something. They don't.
How do they know that?
Exactly. And so they really had no idea, and they just did the screening because they were at the event, and we had offered it for free, and they said, okay, sure, we'll do it. And
so how would we find out where those events are? How would we find out about that service? You just made my day. That excites me so much because I had a child that struggled with eyesight, and now of course I was at a different level where I was taking her to the eye doctor and all that. But when we walked into kindergarten and she had thick glasses, she had the best kindergarten teacher in the world because kids were picking on her. She brought her right up front with her glasses, and she says, let me tell you, she can see who is talking about her and who is picking on her. So that. And I thought, thank you for doing that, because they thought it was a weird thing. It was just to help her to see the board or to see who her friends were or to see colors or whatever it was. So I'm really excited about that program. So how would people know where and how we can find out more about that?
Yes, so if somebody wants to, they could actually schedule a hearing and vision screening with us. And then also for the Learning Mobile, it's on our calendar on our website. So we have an event calendar, and it will show what events we're going to.
What's your website and your social media?
It is www.elcfv.flaglervolusiafv.org.
Okay.
So elcfv.org.
And if there's people that don't do social media, is there a phone number they can call?
Absolutely. It's 386-323-2400.
Man, that just made my entire day. I really did, because I know there's somebody out there that their kid's struggling with maybe not talking the way, at a level, and that's a hearing thing.
It absolutely can be connected to that.
Yep. And people don't realize that. They think, oh, they're just not learning. You know, we don't talk a lot in our house, or they don't have somebody their age or whatever. And it could just be as easy as a hearing test and getting a hearing aid.
Absolutely, yeah. So I think that it can be a lot of different things, and our staff can help the family find out what the challenge is for the child, and then help get interventions in place so that that child can be successful.
I just love it. Okay, what else do you have? You have so many fun things.
No.
Yes, I know.
I mean, don't we learn every time somebody comes?
Every single time.
Something new every time. I know,
And
there's
I
so
love
much,
that. No, but I love that because, you know, each time there's a listener out there, or mom, a grandma, or whatever, that maybe didn't need that part. But I feel today there is a mom or a nanny out there going, that could be the answer that my grandchild or my child needs. So thank you so much for telling us about that. Tell us more, honey.
Absolutely. And then, of course, we have literacy initiatives that we have been working on. In the state of Florida and even our local community, the literacy rates at the third grade level are about 50%. We are on we're slowly ticking up.
Right.
So we're behind at third grade by 50%.
I think about 57% was the most recent number of kids that are reading on grade level at third grade. So why is that so important?
And why are we so behind? Yes.
Yes. So from birth until third grade, children are really learning how to read. After third grade, they really need to know how to read to learn, because
I agree with that.
school starts to get harder. We have to read to do science and math, word problems, those type of things. And so if they don't have those skills set at third grade, oftentimes they will struggle. And so although we are really focused on early learning, we know that most of those early skills are set before kindergarten. And so we try to provide supports and programs and services that can help support that. So we're always, although we're not really involved per se with third graders, with our direct work, we're always looking at that to see, are we moving the needle, right? And so one of the programs that we support in the community for that is the Dolly Parton's Imagination Library Program. And so the coalition has a contract with Dollywood's Foundation to provide this program in Volusia and Flagler County.
Awesome program.
Yes, it is great. The program goes from birth, whenever you sign your child up, to 5 years old. And they will get a book every single month in the mail, mailed directly to them, addressed to the child, which I love that so much about the program. They get their own
Fun mail. And it's fun mail.
Yes.
Yeah, it's so exciting.
Yes.
I want a book just so it's fun mail.
Yes. And so we have almost 6,000 children in Volusia County enrolled in the program. And we have been doing the program since 2015 in Volusia County. And we've had over 6,000 kids graduate from the program also. So it's all, they're coming in, they're going out, right?
And what do you mean by graduate from the program? I know what that means, but as a listener, they're
Yeah.
going,
So that means that they would have completed the program, received
Aged
their
out.
last book, aged out of the program. Absolutely. They get a book every month. They can, if they're enrolled the entire life of the program for them, they would get up to a 60-book library. And the first book is always The Little Engine That Could, with a
I love that book.
personalized
I know.
message
That's one of
from
my
Dolly. I know, it's like it's just
it's a staple.
it is. It's a classic that will
we all
never.
love that, yeah.
Right.
It'll never.
We did not age ourselves with that because
Yes.
it is a staple.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. And then the last book is always Kindergarten, Here I Come, because that would be before they're going to kindergarten.
Now, I love about this is I have been a recipient, well, my grandchildren, of that, and I thought it was free. I thought Dolly Parton was paying for it all these years, and this is where the naiveness come in, because that's not true, is it?
No, it's not. So we do. Dolly does provide the books at a fantastic price.
Right.
She provides a database where families can enroll. We can manage our enrollment, but the funds to purchase the books have to be paid to the foundation by the coalition. So we have to raise the funding locally to be able to provide that to the community. And the last couple of years we have had some price increases, and so we're estimating that in the next year it's going to be about Ready for this?
I'm
For
ready.
about $240,000
Okay, but break
just
it down.
for the Dolly Parton Imagination
Right.
Library Program.
But what is that per child? I mean, is
It's about it's just under $40 per child.
okay. Now do that math. You get 60 books. You said, right? Mm-hmm. And if you are a person that wants to be part of this, and maybe you don't have people, but you could give $40 or $50, whatever.
Yep.
That's less than $1 a book.
Right.
So I mean, there's people out there that could sponsor a child. Right?
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
how would they do that?
Well, they can go on our website. Right on the home page, there's a donate button, and you just do the drop down. There's different programs you can donate to, and you just pick the Dolly Parton Imagination Library, and you can donate directly through there. That's the easiest way. But we take checks through snail mail, absolutely. Or if you don't really know, like if that either of those are a challenge, you also call our office, and we could take it over the phone even.
Well, see, as a person that has received that and never knew that it cost you guys money, I don't
Yeah.
know. I just thought it came from her. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
I
now,
understand we get that all the
as
time.
my grandkids are older, I think, wow, I could change a child.
Absolutely.
$50. You know what I'm saying? Just like with Volusia County Women That Care, when people hear $100, they think, well, that's $100. No, it's $1.10 a day. If you really do it, like for the quarter, we
Yes.
figured it out. Well, that's less than $1. And these are nice books. They're not crappy books. They're not cheap made. These are nice and they're colorful and they're not ones that are going to fall apart on you. So I encourage you, if you've ever been a person that's got to have this in your life and you are a place financially that you could support a child, because I'm sure you need money. You said $240,000 to do this, right?
Yes, that's the estimated cost based on, obviously it's always growing. Like
Right.
we have kids constantly enrolling in the program, but that's what we are projecting it to be for the next year. The thing, like when you talked about the price of the books, we did a comparison a couple years ago. We looked up the retail price of the actual
Okay,
exact
I love
books
numbers.
that she sends, and it was like an 80% discount.
Right.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I mean,
We wouldn't be able to provide this type of program to 6,000 kids if we were doing it ourselves. And that's why working with Dolly's Foundation is the way to go. It's
Totally.
the most cost-effective way because we would never be able to serve that many children if we had to pay 80% higher cost,
Right,
right?
totally.
We'd probably be serving 600, not 6,000, right?
right.
Yeah.
So, but that is a great opportunity if you're looking for something to donate to, help a kid out, and I think that is just a wonderful thing. And I'm so thankful that I've learned all of that. I
Yes.
really am, because I was disillusional about that.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and I know we're getting close to the holiday season. I mean, if you have a person that you don't know, like they don't need anything, who's that person?
Do you have gift certificates? Like you could just do a gift.
We could make that says like I sponsor this many children for you for Christmas. Because I mean, I have friends that I'm like, I have no idea what to buy this person.
I
You know,
love that.
Everyone has
Great
those
idea.
people,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
We all have
Yeah,
those
so
people.
they could sponsor a child in somebody's name. Yep.
See, right there is so nice because
That's a great
Yeah,
idea.
because especially if you're like me and they're all grown up and you've used the program, what a great way to give back, And I mean, even like this sounds morbid, but like at a funeral and stuff, when people put their foundation out there,
Yeah.
what a cool thing to say. You could sponsor a child.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh my goodness! So tell us that website, that phone number, because everybody's excited right now. How do we do that?
Yep. It is elcfv.org. And our phone number is 386-323-2400.
Oh, okay. Anything else you do, or I mean, you do some cool stuff.
There's a lot of like sub programs that we have, but I think those are our main services.
Well, we
that we're
appreciate
providing
you
the
coming in
community.
again. And like I said, from the
Thank
last
you again
time
for
you were
having
here
me.
and today, I've learned so much. And, that's what my thing is. Yes, I'm a Christian radio station. People always ask me, why do I do this? Because I feel that we need to bridge between churches and all the nonprofits, because churches, what a blessing, even the schools, these Christian schools could somehow be part of it, or show that, you could sponsor a kid or whatever. Or what about the eyeglasses and the hearing and, the mobile thing? Wouldn't that be cool to have that mobile thing come to a school? You know what I'm saying? And say, hey, go out there and check it out and stuff. I think we're missing that between the churches and between the nonprofits. So that's why I do this, to educate people and let them know all these cool things that are going on that we could be part of. So thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah,
again.
and thank you, Teresa, for what you do. So tell us again, how do we get to have her and how do we get to help her? What was your vision? How did you do this?
Well, Shelley, I want to thank you for your
course.
heart and for your commitment to Volusia County Women Who Care and lifting the nonprofits up and giving them visibility and voice to your listening audience. We really appreciate you. But Volusia County Women Who Care is my passion. That's my baby. We'll be celebrating 8 years in
8
November.
years.
Wow.
Yeah, and everybody.
And what was the first check?
The first check was $3,000, and the last check was $37,000. So that's a lot of growth
Wow.
in our 8 years.
And we didn't have the extra program till about a year ago.
Right. That year ago, we added the Community Partner Impact Fund that funds the other two. So we've grown, but we've grown because it's one person at a time. It's one woman at a time, 100. And I tell everybody, to all our members, please never underestimate the significance of your $100. Because your $100 collectively, we can make an impact. We can move the needle for organizations. We can make a difference together. Where my $100 is important to you, it can sponsor a child, but collectively, that really makes a difference.
Oh.
It's mission moving, particularly some of the organizations who this will make a difference in their ability to continue to provide those kinds of services, to grow, to innovate, that type of thing. So I'm blessed to be part, to have this opportunity, and grateful beyond words to every member and everyone that supports the work we do so we can support the work you do that's so important in our community. And I so appreciate both of you.
And I hope that you present again. I really do. Because today I learned so much. I really did a lot, and things that touched my heartstrings. And that's the thing, when we get to hear from these nonprofits, at that moment, we might be going through something else or not at that level in our life or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But today, just you talking about hearing and visual is wow. It really was special to me because I've struggled with a child with that.
Yeah.
And so to hear that there's somebody that I could afford to go get her eyes checked and all that, you know what I'm saying? But there's somebody that can't, or somebody doesn't even understand that that's what's happening. And so that you have a team that's willing to, partner alongside and help them figure it out so that their child can have the best opportunity to learn.
Absolutely. And thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing your personal experience.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, today has been for me, if anybody. So thank you so much. And thank you, Teresa, for being here. Tell us one last time how we find you, honey.
www.elcfv.org and 386-323-2400. And thank you again, Teresa, because what you're doing in the community is really, you're making a huge impact. Yes, absolutely.